Dr. Sudhir Bhandari, SMS Medical College and Hospital, Jaipur. He's a senior professor of medicine, MD, DNB, MNAMS. He's the principal and controller at SMS Medical College and Hospital, Jaipur. In addition, he's a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians, FRCP, in London and Edinburgh. As a capsule, Dr. Bhandari is a fine balance of academics at heart and community services in action. A balance of critical medical research and service to rural, challenged children. The distinguished Dr. Sudhir Bhandari serves as the honorary physician to the Governor of Rajasthan. The COVID-19 coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic appeared in Rajasthan in the last week of February 2020. Dr. Bhandari was immediately appointed by the Rajasthan state government as member State Advisory Board for COVID-19, head core treatment group for COVID-19, head COVID-19 containment program, SMS Medical Hospital and attached hospitals. His strategy: test, trace, isolate, and treat. Noteworthy is the fact that Dr. Bhandari successfully ramped up testing capacity at SMS Medical Hospital from 0 in early 2020 to 10,000 RT-PCR tests per day by May 2021. A Herculean achievement. Further, Dr. Bhandari facilitated the ramping up of testing capacity across Rajasthan state to 100,000 RT-PCR tests per day. This was a state government effectively controlled an aggressive second wave to less than 0.4%. Dr. Bhandari made the difference. Dr. Bhandari too is a COVID superhero. We are honored to present Dr. Sudhir Bhandari the Qimpro Medal 2021 for extraordinary achievement. May I request Dr. Rajan Saxena and Suren Balika to present the award to Dr. Sudhir Bhandari.
Few words, please. Respected Shri Lalla, Dr. Ashok Agarwal, and all the trustees of Qimpro Award Group, I'm honored and humbled to have been chosen for this coveted award and extend my profuse thanks to all the trustees for having invited me. It's been a big honor to be a part of your choosing people. The bells of COVID-19 tolled among the eastern front of the state of Rajasthan for first time in the internationally acclaimed big city of Jaipur, the capital, in last week of February 2020. When first wave came, our fear psychosis was very high, confidence level was very low, but with the teamwork, with the governmental support, with the fraternity support, we could tide over the crisis. The sphinx of the journey of COVID-19 has been very confounding, that left the medical fraternity bewildered and baffled, as is the practice of any disease process with protein manifestation affecting humans across the globe. COVID-19 pandemic witnessed the deluge of conflicting information came to be known as infodemic, that during the time-defined course of disease was singled out with characterization and identification of the disease profile along with the evaluation of probable definitive symptomatic management. COVID-19 challenged the frontiers of medical site, testing its limit through its extreme, taking humankind for a ride. In such an intimidating background, the government of Rajasthan authorized its primal teaching medical college, SMS Medical College, which is a pioneer institute of country with 11 attached hospitals with 49 departments with the facilities of heart, lung and kidney transplant, a premier institute of international standard to take up the onerous task of combating the menace of pandemic in a logical, precise and objective manner involving definitive management and preventing protocols of COVID-19. A state-of-art intensive care unit protocol was followed all over the state. Though our institute was given the task of percolating the total management program all over the state, more than 200 virtual meetings were conducted to educate, sensitize the medical persons, paramedical persons to create a homologous infrastructure. Every nook or corner of Rajasthan was involved. We formulated the preventive methodology, we formulated the treatment strategy, we went for rapid response teams, and the famous Bhilwara model and the famous Ramganj model were the outcome of the core management advisory group of our institute with the support of the government advisory board. It included advanced provision of best of infrastructure in every nook and corner of the Rajasthan, which included advanced ventilators, provision of high flow nasal oxygen therapy, dialysis units, and monitoring of COVID-19 patients all over. The stage was evolved and designed for definitive management protocol that came on to include early use of, in every corner of the state, drugs like remdesivir, steroids, very early plasma therapy all over the state when it was propounded, monoclonal antibody like tocilizumab, observing very strictly to dictate and edify the prohibitive timeline of COVID-19. The bemusing novel SARS-CoV had baffled and floxomated medical science and world over. The dedicated team of SMS Medical College and attached hospitals, Jaipur, rose to its legacy of being a torchbearer, setting standards for prevention, containment, and management protocol of arcane and elusive COVID-19 that became the benchmark for city of Jaipur and whole of the state of Rajasthan. Every small or big hospitals was subjected to the standard protocols of treatment. We monitored more than 24,000 oxygenated beds over the state, more than 5,000 bedded ICUs with the standard protocols to be followed everywhere. The war room of the multidisciplinary team, SMS Medical College, through its piercing insight, adopted a multi-pronged, pugnacious approach of optimization of community participation in handing over the COVID all over the state. All the people around the state were educated, were sensitized regarding the preventive and the management protocols. Immediate isolation with prompt and aggressive hawkish management protocol, capacity building of remote public health officers through online virtual platform. The silver lining of this epidemic was the huge orientation of people at large for virtual education and sensitization. The persistent, perseverant efforts backed by piercing scientific insight through varied measures of early initiation of prevention and management through statewide lockdown. I am very happy to say that our advisory board was such a strong advisory board to the government of Rajasthan that we followed some of the most important steps and government adopted our suggestion. On 19th of March, we got the first COVID patients. At that time, no specific treatment was available. We tried to create a bridge between point of no treatment to the early specific treatment, and we were first to use hydroxychloroquine and some antiviral drugs. Probably all our patients recovered, and we were put to queries and the information by all over the world, and probably it was effective. Our advisory board, our institute guided the government, and we were so lucky that every advice was followed, and I must share you some of the dates which got the best of the COVID management results in our state. As early as on 19th March, Section 144 was imposed with restricted gathering of few. As early as 22nd March on 2020, we announced complete lockdown, started screening passengers, public and private transport were stopped. As early as 11th April, we announced the COVID insurance scheme. As early as 7th May, the first week of May, the state borders were followed. This was all outcome of our advisory team to the government of Rajasthan. The special mobile COVID awareness program was started as early as the first week of June, and this was followed by the standard protocol and management and investigation systems to be followed every corner of the state. It is very interesting that we suffered the first wave of COVID, which was very aggressive, very less complicating, but we learned a lot about this. During first wave, our confidence was very low. During second wave, which was very aggressive, but with the improved infrastructure, with improved knowledge, with vaccination of both of the health workers, we could manage it with a strong confidence and we could bring down the mortality. One of the outcomes of second wave was a strong number of mucormycosis. If you heard about black fungus, we were number 3 in country. First Maharashtra, second Gujarat, and Rajasthan number 3. But all over state we handled it by creating mucormycosis board with multiple species, and our mortality rate came down to 4.1%, which is very unlike reported in literature to 30 to 40%. The loss of vision, which was reported all over Rajasthan to begin with in 150 patients, and 140 people recovered with vision with intense mucormycosis board specialist spread about whole of the Rajasthan. So this was the outcome of intense medical education, intense infrastructure creation, and best part was that irrespective of specialty, all were taken into the COVID management program. This is something very important, and a state where there was a zero testing, we rose finally to the tune of 150,000 tests per day. It is a state where we brought down the cost of RT-PCR testing to as low as 350 rupees in private, which was beyond imagination, and it was very early done. Collaborating types with WHO and ICMR on war footing was done, and we followed all the protocols which were laid down. Early in the course of administration of available antivirals, convalescent plasma, and thrombolytic therapy, as early as in first wave, the research and intensive management went on. We could conclude by doing the lung biopsies of the disease as per the standard protocols, and we could make out the newer etiologies of thromboembolic phenomena, which was later found to be cause of the higher mortality. Adequate preparedness with ample supplies inclusive of oxygen supplementation was the strength of our management, and we took care of this in every nook and corner of the state. More than 8,000 plus mucormycosis of black fungus patients, which were handled by innumerable virtual meetings by our ENT and neurosurgeons all over the state, and they were brought to the nodal hospitals for better outcome of reducing morbidity and mortality. Dedicated post-COVID clinics for lot COVID halls were another challenge which we are still meeting. NGOs across the nation and globe robbed it with the maximum participation to meet out the better outcome of COVID management strategy. The medical community across the globe acknowledged such a dogmatic and sustained aggressive measures that incidentally became the globe-trotting and trendsetter for others to follow. We at our institute set the roadmap in the state of Rajasthan to a phenomenal recovery ratio of over and above 98% in a time interval commemorative of SARS-CoV cyclic phase. And that's the way the development of definitive management protocol along with the vaccines is vital to do away with the specter of the present pandemic. A lot of our fraternity who succumbed fighting the COVID management. But yes, the outcome has been saving of the life and reducing the morbidity. COVID-19 pandemic should be a great lesson and warning to the various governments to put their priority right on what can save lives. This virus has presented us with an unprecedented threat, but it's also an unprecedented opportunity to come together as one against common enemy, an enemy against humanity. I would only say that as we learn more and more about handling COVID management, probably it is a dedication, it is an involvement, it is a sincerity, the participation of the people at large, participation and support of the government, and probably the silver lining has been a creation of the outstanding infrastructure and unanimity of the protocols of implementation, the contact tracing and managing the disease. Probably our institute or the sheet anchor in giving the concept of Bhilwara model of containment, and that's the way we could manage the COVID so beautifully. I think I also contribute a lot of knowledge sharing with Dr. Guleria, Iqbal, Chahel. I think all of you have been phenomenal, and probably your expressions time to time we have picked up and we have followed your methodologies in our state too. And that's the way we could tide over the crisis. Probably the best part is that we have achieved 95% plus vaccination. We have single dose, we have achieved almost 50% double dose, and we are so proud to say, till before this wedding season, we used to have single digit cases for last 3 months. Now we have got only 10 to 12 cases. So probably the participation of people in COVID management behavior, I think vaccination and making people aware of do's and don'ts, we are going to tide over this crisis. Thank you very much. And once again, I thank Qimpro trustees for having invited me. It's been a pleasure and honor to be here. And thank you very much, sir, for your kind words. Thank you.